I'm feeling very rejected, and I'm having a hard time letting go that this girl doesn't want to be with me, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can't let it go. And I keep obsessing about it because I want to try to make things work. I want to try to make things right, but I haven't spoken to her since Thursday, and I don't know. It's just been really, really, really bothering me. It's been making me feel less of myself, insecure, very emotional,
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, and it is the best thing is to know what is right and good.
Yeah.
And how to know what is right and good is by thinking. Thinking means thought is a product of knowledge. So if our knowledge is moving in a wrong direction, we should check it. We should return to what is right and good. Last time we talked about that I want to set others right. Please accept me that I am right. But I'm not ready to accept you whether you are right or wrong. Now, what should I do? I should recheck if I am following what is right and good. If others reject me, if others goes against me, if others blame me, if others complains me, then I should find out where I went wrong, how I went wrong. Let me set it right. That is the first step. So when I set it right, then let me move towards you. Who sent you an SMS, email, or text that you like one girl? Who,
Wait, what?
who sent you SMS, email, or text that you should like that girl?
No one, no one told me that.
Are you sure?
I told myself that.
I told myself. I told means my mind told me that.
Yeah.
So my mind has a liking, hence I get attached to her.
Yes.
Are you clear?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So the first step that you liked her and then you liked her, first step. Then your mind started thinking. The mind started thinking, and when we keep on thinking, that is known as attachment. Are you clear?
Yeah.
So everything is happening in your mind, and your mind is different than you. Or are you your own mind?
I mean, no, my mind is different than me.
Are you sure? Yes,
Mm.
mind is definitely different than me. So what should I do what should I do? I allow mind to sit over me, or I should sit over the mind?
I need to sit over the mind.
Okay. And the mind is obsessed, so you do not want to sit over you. Mind is attached. You do not want to sit over you. The mind is crazy. You do not want to sit over you. Am
Yeah.
I sure? Tell me, who loves you the most, I or the girl? You see, that is why we love our teachers so much. So pay attention that the mind likes, and when the mind keeps on thinking about liking, that thinking is known as attachment.
Yeah.
So when the attachment reaches to a point, when the attachment reaches to a point, attachment reaches to a point, it becomes desire. I'm saying it becomes desire in the mind.
Yeah.
It becomes desire in the mind. Desire always comes from the mind. Clear?
Yeah.
So keep on visualizing. This is what happened. This is what happened to the mind in your case. So now, before we go further, what is desire? Can you differentiate undesirable desire and desirable desire? What a crazy.
No.
Undesirable desire means I am seeking peace, happiness, love, and wisdom outside from someone, from something, from some time, from some situation and condition. It is undesirable desire because the peace and happiness are not there. If you do not understand, then there is an obsession. The mind, because it kept on thinking with an attachment, the mind attacks you.
Yeah.
I will say sorry to you, then will you love me? No, I will hate you. I will hate you. No, but now I agree with you for everything. That is why I disagree with you. You change a lot. I'm advocating that girl before you.
Yeah.
But why I'm advocating? Because you have not taken over the mind. The mind takes over you. In one
Yeah.
incident, I am sorry. In other incident, you don't understand me. In third
Yeah.
incident, I have done so much of you and you don't care.
Yeah.
I know what are the thoughts that is going on. Sometimes we read the mind of others. This is the result of undesirable desire. What is desirable desire? It never causes any problem. I tell you. Undesirable desire never causes any problem. What is undesirable? Let me grab a cup of coffee. Let me go to the restroom. Let me sleep. It does not. Undesirable desire causes obsession. Causes obsession, keeps on attachment, and then you have 1 million argument to prove.
Yeah. How do you break? How do I get out of this? Like how it just feels so visceral. Like it feels like I'm breaking an addiction.
No. If you break an addiction, then it will put you in a situation where you cannot return. But first, understand the entire circle. So, when we have an undesirable desire, we give 1 million argument to prove that is known as delusion. So, desire has become a delusion. Now, in that case of delusion, delusion means what? Delusion means what appears true is not true. What appears true is not true. What is experience? What is my experience goes against the knowledge, goes against the right knowledge. That is obsession. It becomes because of the delusion. What goes against what is right and good, and my mind insists on it, that is known as an obsession. That is why you have a thought, I want to break up. I want to break up. The point of no return. So understand clearly. And after the delusion, what happens? After the delusion, what is in Sanskrit moh, mud. So I have a sense of pride with a wrong judgment, with a wrong understanding. And that pride causes extreme jealousy and a hatred. Jealousy and a hatred because he did not or she did not call me until since Thursday. Now I hate this. I have done so much. I have supported, but result is this. What should I do? Should I die? Should I commit suicide? Should I drink? And you have all the wrong judgment.
Well, please help me.
So now once we understand this entire journey, and I love to quote here Krishna. You might be aware of the Krishna.
Yeah.
So you rightly said, please help me. You rightly said. That is where the Krishna, Arjuna was his disciple. He was in a delusion and he said, there are two things. He said, please help me. But he also said, please help me, show me what is right and good for me. Two things. Very important. Not only that you guide me, but you guide me. To guide, you have a counselor who will guide you. Oh, what worry about? You are rich, you are independent, you have everything. Find another girl who listens to you. Or if you go to a lawyer, they will say, leave everything. I will divorce. But here, when we say Eastern wisdom, this student, this seeker asked, please help me. But at the same time, he said, what is right and good for me to be happy? What is right and good for me? So the first thing, what is right and good for me, it means there is something going on wrong and I am following a wrong direction. So I explained you what is the wrong direction you are following. What is the wrong direction you are following? Again, pay attention. It is your mind is following. But okay, if the mind follows a wrong direction, can I understand this? Mind is following a wrong direction. Why it is a wrong direction? Because it is undesirable desire. What is undesirable desire? Because my desire to possess you came into my mind from the liking. And I can bet you the moment if you continue in this state, after a week you will hate her.
I don't want that.
That is what the ego is.
Mm.
Again, remember attachment and detachment. Second is the desire. Third is the delusion. Fourth is the ego. Fifth is the jealousy. So these five keeps on moving in my mind. Now you said just no, I don't want that. Means I do not want to hate her. I like her. I love her, so called, you say.
No,
You
I
don't
don't
love
love her.
you don't love her?
No, I don't know her that well to love her.
Oh, that is another confusion. I like her, that is okay. But I don't love her. And still I want her.
I just want to feel accepted and not rejected.
I want to feel accepted. So, what is your idea of being accepted? That she should listen to you.
Yeah.
You
Well,
she,
yeah, but that she would communicate with me, that she would go on another date with me, that she would continue to see me.
yes, yes. So you want to possess her, in spite of the fact whether she wants it or she doesn't want.
No, I want her to want it. I want her to want it.
So you are pushing her mind to want you. You see, do you see
Yeah,
the delusion?
yeah. I
Our
can't yeah.
our parents, they tried hard and we separated with the parent. They always wanted us to accept them, but we have a different thought, we have a different set of behavior, so we separated and we say, Dad, we love you, but there is a but. And this begins early in our childhood and it continues. So we don't want to be possessed even by the parents that we proved in our life, but we want just the opposite with that girl. Did you understand this?
Yeah.
Did you understand? So it means my mind is working in opposite direction, in opposite direction. And when the mind is working in other opposite direction, it is definitely sensed by the people, around us. Result?
Yeah.
Result is that, okay, you say you accept me, but I'm not ready to accept you. My mind doesn't say. What should I do? No, no, you accept me. You talk to me. But no, no, but I'm not ready. Oh, because you are not ready, that is why I am frustrated. How to make you ready? Go ahead. You find a T point. There is no way to go back. Are you getting it?
There's no way to go back. What do you mean?
There is no way to go back to continue her or forcing her to like you.
No, of course not.
So there is just the end point. You cannot, you cannot, you cannot retrieve. Why? Because it is based on likes and dislikes. Key, likes and dislikes causes the mind to keep on thinking, resulted into attachment. Attachment causes the desire, and the desire is a delusion. All these are thoughts.
Correct. Well, I don't know if she likes me or doesn't like me. I think she's confused. So I'm trying to give her space.
Oh, wonderful. She is confused, and you are right. You are not confused. I love it.
No, I'm confused. No. She no. I'm not saying that. She's stated that.
The very nature of this world outside and its relationship with the mind that lives in ignorance starts from likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
We are together, and after a couple of weeks, your mind will stop liking. I can tell you, this happens with anything, any event, every object, every person.
Or it doesn't. I mean, there's people that have been together for many years that still like each other.
And ultimately they dislike.
Do you dislike your wife?
There is no question of like and dislike. My mind is 100% clear. Now she is my wife. Question of liking and disliking doesn't come. I accept it. So when there is an acceptance beyond the likes and dislikes, then you move with the love and care. Then you don't want to possess. Then you don't want to dictate. That is the difference. I like you asked me that question. So, son is son, finished. I accept you, my son, finished. I accept you, my daughter, finished. But if you ask me, I will tell you where are the areas where you follow one set of behavior, where I follow another set of behavior. It does not mean that I am pushing you. And I make it very clear to my son, my daughter, my wife. But why I do that? Because that is the right thing to do. Why should I do that? That is the right thing to do. That is helping the mind to live with the wisdom, not with the delusion. The moment you take over the mind means what? It simply means, my mind, you are pushing me, you are thinking, he or she should accept me. Mind, first you should accept me as it is. So when I accept myself as it is, I am calm, I am in peace, and I move with an affection and care to everyone. So then what happens? I do not get thoughts of delusion, and then I'm not going to resort to another level of low. I do not resort to drinking. I do not find a solution in something else, which again results me into the undesirable desire.
Okay. But like up until I get married, is it dating? It's only likes and dislikes. So I'm not at that level you're at, where you're above that with love and acceptance. So if I'm dating somebody, then it's only likes and dislikes. So how am I supposed to ever date somebody then?
Yes. Again, if you repeat the question while understanding that question consciously, you repeat the question while understanding the question. What you want to say that until I marry, what you want me to do, that I do not go for the likes and dislikes, but the dating is essential for me. Sensual pleasure is essential for me until I marry. This is the question you want to ask me.
Yeah.
So I want to go for a sensuality, sensual desire. That desire gives me the pleasure, but the pleasure is not in anything outside. Still, I force myself. I am taking, my mind has taken over me. My mind keeps on pushing me, running after the sensual pleasure. Do I feel a sense of emptiness within? Do I feel a sense of hollowness within? That is why I am running after the sensual pleasure until I marry. You have to ask yourself. We have started our journey today that if the mind takes over me, it is hell. It may create hell sooner or later. And if I take over the mind to follow what is right and good, I am always happy. Second part of the question you should understand. If you really understand, the mind changes here and now. Our both the minds are at the par. But if we do not understand, we claim that we understand, the mind keeps on thinking. Mind keeps on with that obsession. Mind keeps on with the undesirable desire. Did our dad and parents taught us not to put our finger into an electric adapter? Did we learn how many times we repeated? Maybe a couple of times, and after that, we have that understanding even now. Even now, we don't put our fingers into this. We don't put our finger on the hot plate. We know the fire burns. So wherever there is a fire, we always keep at a distance. Do you want every time to touch what is hot or hot plate in order to know and gain an experience that this is not good? But in terms of our sensual desire, in terms of our likes and dislikes, we keep on doing this, we keep on doing this, we keep on doing this. What is this? Why don't
And how do
we
you?
why don't we want to learn? We want to repeat the same thing again and again. That puts us into frustration, that puts us into delusion, that gives us pain, that fails the mind to resort to some drastic action which will put my life into danger. Why we do that? Why we do that? It's your mind. Answer me why we do that.
I don't know. I don't know. I've been doing this my whole life, though.
So now accept it. You do it because of the delusion. You wanted to know, guide me. So delusion means what I see, what I experience is not true. I told you, earth appears stationary to me. It is not. It is my experience. The ground under me is steady. It doesn't move. But it is not true. I marry Miss Universe 2023. What will happen in 2024? I like a girl. I like Miss Universe 2023. That is based on the liking. Why? I like Miss World when? 2023. So if 2024 will come, she is much better than. So when the mind is moving with the likes and dislikes, I have to examine. I have not to get carried away. I have not to get carried away. First lesson, first step. Now I have a sensual desire, which you can say sexual desire, or that is with everyone. First thing, that how many times I want to fulfill my sensual desire, and why I am seeking a sensual desire. That is why I want to date. That is why I want to be with a person. So, to have a sensual desire, fulfillment. Oh, can you tell me, do the animals also have a sensual pleasure, or they do sex for reproduction? They go for the sex for reproduction, or they go for sensual desire. We have
Reproduction.
we have created a sensual pleasure out of everything. That's why we change our food, we change our clothes, we change our house, we change our car. The mind, in fact, deep inside, has the same habit, so it wants a sensual desire to seek pleasure. Pleasure in the food, pleasure in the flesh, pleasure in the house, pleasure in the clothes, pleasure. I'm answering your question. What should I do? Should I not date? I never said this, but I'm answering you.
Yeah.
First, you should be very clear. Do you want to prove that you are a man with a tremendous strength by going into sensuality? Is that the only way to prove?
No.
That is one of the problems in our society. If others are going that way, why shouldn't I follow the same way? That is why the Bill Gates said, I lived loveless life for 27 years. Do you remember? I told you.
Yeah.
I lived loveless life. Do you understand what is love? No, I understand Microsoft better than love. So then don't make that statement. You are wrong. We are living in delusion. We are living in delusion. So when you,
How are you?
yeah, go ahead.
Well, like, how, a couple things, like, how am I supposed to break an attachment, or how am I supposed to get into a relationship without feeling so attached so I don't end up this way?
Yeah, yeah. I have answered, but I'm repeating again in a different way. I could see that is what that is what happens. That is why it happened to me. So when I said that I lived with my master for 26 years, every time I went on listening, and after a few years I realized he told me in the very first lesson that I understood after a couple of years. But why this happens? Because the mind is already deluded. The mind thinks based on the delusion.
Okay.
Mind thinks based on the attachment. And now let me give you a simple answer. Will you accept it and will you follow it? The way your mind got attached, examine it. That is the only way to get detached. To make it more clear to you, don't be in a hurry.
Okay.
So you see that master uses different metaphors.
Sure.
So I remember that metaphor. Uh, in one house, there was a hole just under the roof. So a bird entered through that hole inside the house. And then he forgot to return outside the house from that hole, and he kept on flying. he got stuck with a fan and he died. Did you understand that metaphor? So when he died means, I got deluded. I keep on repeating the same thought. You accept me, you accept me, you accept me, honey. I'm so much, attached to you. I did everything for you. What should I do? So the bird should know this is the only hole by which he entered into the house. He should follow the same route to go out.
I understand, but I don't understand.
Yes. So the moment, and that is another example that I gave you. The way a highway is there, highway has 3 lanes. The mind also has a highway, it has 3 lanes. The lane number 1 is full of likes and dislikes, full of hatred, full of delusion, full of obsessed with the world outside. Whether you are obsessed with a person or a thing or a time or a situation or event, that is lane number 1. What we are doing, we are both are thinking together. I am thinking, you are listening. It means we both want to follow the lane number 2. Lane number 2 is the intellect. The intellect gives us the knowledge. How it gives us the knowledge? By separating the lane 1 from the lane 2. So the moment I have a thought of attachment, I have a thought of obsession, I have a thought of delusion, I should start thinking peace and happiness are within me. It is not outside. It happened to me many a time. No, again the thought overpowers me. I have to think this is the series of undesirable desire. It follows the likes and dislikes. It follows the delusion. Let me become aware. The moment any thought enters into my mind pertaining to the delusion, pertaining to that person, I will not expand that thought. I will stay cool. I will remain aware. That awareness, that stopping and extending the thinking is nothing but the power of discernment. Wait, let us see for a minute. You keep on looking at me and check whether the mind is running to the lane 1. When the mind is running to the lane 1, it means it has a thought pertaining to her. So let the unwanted thought comes to your mind. You do not stretch it. You do not chase it. Just watch. The thought is coming, thought is going, thought is staying, but you do not create any other thought related to it. So you have broken the relationship in your mind. You are aware. You have left the delusion as it is. You have left the attachment. No, but it returns again. Do it again. It returns again. Do it again.
Do what? Just watch it?
Just see that in lane number 2, you are on the lane number 2. What it means? Lane number 1, I still like her. That thought has come unwanted. Okay, that's good. You don't chase her. You don't chase that thought. You don't carry forward. No. Or that is one option. Second option, the moment you have a thought consciously, you watch that thought. Mind, you are seeking peace and happiness outside, it is inside. And then stay silent. I am obsessed. That thought has come, become aware. Don't create another thought over it. Peace and happiness are within me. Let me first find out peace and happiness within me. Then only I will go back and think over it. Until that repeated thinking pattern stops, by awareness first, by replacing it with another thought. What is that thought is right? Peace and happiness are within me. Did you understand that?
Yeah.
But the moment the lane number one has unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, it will keep on. It will keep on. It will keep on. Do you think that it should stop? It will not stop by its own on its own. Unless you take a right action. What is that action? That I don't follow you, lane number one, mind. Even if you bring in all the thoughts, let it come, let it go. Let it stay. That is the first step in your mind. In the second step, let me see, let me find out, let me declare peace and happiness are within me. This is an explanation of what is right and good for me, a practical aspect of it. Practical aspect. So, lane number one, again I'm repeating all the three lanes. Lane number one, lane number two, lane number three. They are independent but interconnected. That's why I give an example of the highway. All the three lanes are interconnected and independent. The moment you lose awareness, it becomes an animal mind. Then you don't recognize that on the mental highway there is a lane number 2 and lane number 3 also. That is the delusion. I live in a wrong knowledge. That is why I am asking what to do. Become crazy. Live in delusion. So the mind is not able to see that lane number 2 is independent. Let me jump onto the lane 2. What it means? Oh, the thought is coming about her. Let it come. I'm not supporting. I'm not getting carried away. How to do that? By awareness, by understanding. By awareness and by understanding. So that understanding is what is that understanding? That is lane number 2. But you didn't explain about the lane number 3. The moment you are in a lane number 2, lane number 3 brings the calmness and peace to you. You need not to think of it. Why? The peace and calmness are already within us. They are already within us. But I don't
Girish,
see it.
Girish, what is the understanding though? That's what I'm trying to say.
Understanding is knowledge.
I don't understand though. I don't understand why.
Yeah. That is what I told you in the beginning. That when the mind is full of a delusion, when the mind is full of likes and dislikes, when the mind is full of attachment and detachment, it veils our understanding. So, what is that understanding? Are you listening to me? This is understanding. Are you seeing me? This is understanding. Understanding is nothing but knowledge. Understanding is nothing but accepting what is right and good. At that moment, that leaves you in calmness and peace. Understanding is knowledge. Understanding is wisdom. Understanding, it means you receive, retain, and realize what is said to you.
Okay.
Do you know restroom of your house?
Yes.
That is your understanding. Do you know your restroom? Do you know your kitchen? Say yes. You know it. That is understanding.
Of course.
So,
But this seems different.
But to know is the same. We are talking about knowledge and understanding. Whether you know kitchen, whether you know restroom, whether you know your dog, whether you know that girl.
So then what do I know?
Know what is right and good. So what is right and good? Peace and happiness are within me. Mind, why you are obsessed with someone outside. So in that thought, there is a knowledge and there is an understanding.
I see.
You are not difficult to me. It is just a play and a fun for me.
No, I know.
But do you see that? Do you see the point? Every thought contains a knowledge. So when you speak, you spoke, what is that knowledge and understanding? So that question gives me an understanding. You want to know what is knowledge. And then I made another sentence, I made another thought that helps you to know. To know is understanding. Now, why this is not happening? Why it happen? Why now you asked a question? Over 3,000 masters, they have dealt with all the doubts, all the crazy questions, and ultimately, until the mind is transformed, they said, "Do you realize peace and happiness are within you?" "Yes, Master, I realize." "Live in peace and happiness from today. Live in the world with everyone, but in peace and happiness." Going back, did you understand? To know and understanding. To know is the same thing as understanding. How it comes? By when the intellect receives and retains the knowledge. Are you sitting on a chair? Yes. How do you know? I know it. This is the chair. My body is sitting here. This is an understanding. Right?
Yeah.
Now tell me, my dear friend, tell me, if your mind refuses to accept that you are sitting on a chair, what will happen to your mind? This is what is happening to you.
Yeah.
So I made it very simple. What is that simple? I said this is lane number one. Your mind is refusing to accept what is right and good. That is what I'm saying. The lane number one has all the crazy thoughts about her. You should have been thinking more about me. You should have got obsessed with me. So knowledge would have been easier to pass on. You get obsessed with those who doesn't care you, who doesn't accept you. No, no, accept me. Come on. No, I'm just joking.
No.
No, I'm not saying that you should get obsessed. My master used to say that I used to have an intense attachment with my master. So now I'm answering your one question that I left in the very beginning. You asked me, should I not get, then I should stop getting attached and getting likes and dislikes in the world. No. So my master said to me that I was so much intensively attached to my master. I said, hold on, master. You are just teaching us to remain detached. And you were attached? You are opposing yourself? I know you have that question. Can you think of an answer? If you stay in the lane number two, you will get an answer automatically. But because your mind is obsessed with the lane number one, with the delusion, your mind cannot think of an answer. And the answer is very simple. First, understand what is right and good. And then get intensively attached to what is right and good. It will benefit you. But if you are attached with what you like, what deludes you, you are choosing the path of hell, not heaven. That is what the religion is teaching you. The path of the hell and heaven. Path of hell and heaven is not up in the sky. It is here in the sight.
Yeah.
I understand what is right and good. And I said, So should I get intensively attached to you, Master? No, why should I say that? That is the choice of your mind. The more you chose that attachment to the peace, I want peace at all cost. First, I choose to be in peace, and then I will see whether I should like you or not, whether I should say you something or not. Solution is already there, here and now. Then what I recognize in the lane number one, the mind keeps on inviting uninvited, unwelcome thoughts that causes the pain in me, that causes the obsession, that causes the discomfort. I refuse it. Why? I'm intensively obsessed with the peace first. I
Is
love
that what's
myself.
right and good?
Yeah, what is right and good? I love myself first before I love anyone.
That's the problem. I don't think I love myself.
You are right. Those people who claim they love themselves, they respect themselves, but they don't, because they live in stress, they live in conflict, they live in confusion. What is to be done? To know, to understand. How to know and understand? To listen to a teacher or to listen to the principles of Eastern wisdom. That is the first step. First step only. Second step, I keep on thinking about it. You said, I don't love myself, so let me choose from today. First priority is the peace and peace within me. I should discover the peace and love within me before I think of anything. Suddenly the thought of her returns, and I tell my mind, I want peace first, not her. Which one is the priority? She or peace? She or peace? She in the lane number one, peace in the lane number two. That is what is the contemplation and reflection. Why we should do contemplation and reflection? You did not ask me, but I'm answering. Intellect easily understands by thinking. The mind cannot have that level of conviction because of its repeated thoughts of likes and dislikes over many years in the past. It has accumulated many impressions of the likes and dislikes for an instant pleasure. So it doesn't believe, it does not have the conviction. Lane number two we have to think again and again. That is why I insist you listen to the talk again and again, extract the main point. Your intellect is engaged on the what is right and good, followed by the practice. So once you have a clarity of understanding, and then you do the practice, now this mind gets 1% of conviction. You repeat it again, 10%. You repeat it again, 30%. You repeat it again until it becomes over 50%. You are changed. Then you recognize, oh, dear guy, what you have been saying, I love you. I did not understand before, but now I understand. Why? Again, ask the question why. So, pressure and the resources, the pressure by the mind because of living habitually, mechanically, unconsciously in delusion is too much. Did you understand? Are you getting it? Are you
Yeah.
listening to me or are you listening to her? If you are listening to her, you are in lane number one.
I keep going back and forth.
My goodness. So,
No.
I could see your face and I can make out. So, the pressure of those millions of impressions, they keep returning in the lane 1. And you have understood so-called intellectual understanding in the lane number 2. The resources are very low. So how to increase the resources so that the pressure becomes low? I have to think of it. I have to contemplate and reflect. I have to do the practice until the resources of this knowledge that sits in the mind becomes much more than the pressure being caused by, again you have started thinking, this is
No.
not she, this is my hand. No, I'm just joking and make you aware. This is not she, this is my hand, my dear. So this pressure becomes low. So when the resources are more, what is that resources? That I live in a factual world. What is living in a the way you live your daily life? You know, here is the restroom, here is the kitchen, here is the bedroom, here is my dog, here is my house, here is my car. These are the facts.
Yeah.
So I live in the facts. What do you mean I live in the facts? So I live in peace and happiness. Peace only with her? No, that is not a fact. Peace within me, this is a fact. Happiness within me, it is a fact. So I'm thinking. First, I become aware of the lane number 1. I don't support it. I don't appreciate that unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. So that is the meaning that you are aware.
Yeah.
The moment you are aware, you have separated. So what to do with that mind when I have separated? Peace is my essential nature. Peace is within me. So I am repeating and I say, first, my bet to my life is peace and happiness in me, and then I will think about her. I made a promise to myself. So all my thoughts of obsession and the delusion and the anger and the anxiety and a constant repeated thoughts, I have nothing to do with anyone. The moment these thoughts will come, I will bring my mind back that after all, peace is within me. Repeated thoughts will cause me stress, so I'm not thinking, I'm not supporting, I'm not appreciating, I'm appreciating what is right and good. You are thinking in that way. What is right and good for me? What is the right and good for me is the peace. Peace and happiness are within me. I should not relate peace and happiness with anything in the world outside. I'm doing good.
So when I'm thinking of thoughts of like, oh, I could have done this or I should have done that or having regrets, that's lane number 1.
That is lane number 1, and that is delusion.
Why is that delusion, Girish?
Because what appears true is not true. You are not seeing the fact at this moment, but you are projecting an alternate fact. You are in a different situation now. The fact here and now is different, but you want to project another fact by thinking, yeah, I should have done this, I should have not done this. This is a projection. And the projection is nothing but a delusion.
So those, okay, I get that, but isn't that a normal human thought? I mean, to have
Normal human, this is abnormal. How do you say this is normal? Now I can say with the toughness so that at least your mind this is abnormal. Oh, alas, my friend should have understood only in one session, so he should not have paid so much of money, even though he is paying less to me. Now I start thinking it has nothing to do with the fact.
Okay, but what if I'm confused on the fact? What is the fact? That's the problem.
Yeah, fact. How simple. How simple it is. Do you see me? It is a fact. At this time, I see you. This is a fact. Are you listening to me? This is a fact. So fact means no opposite, no likes and dislikes, no preferences. What is, is. We are having a virtual session. What is, is. No, 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 no. Can we have, maybe, can we have a live session? Yes, we are already having a live session. So the mind says, no, can we have a session face to face? Yes, we can have a session face to face. So the mind puts on a lot of the thoughts to confuse. We are already having a session. We are already communicating with each other. Mind, calm down. Mind, I'm not interested. So when the mind is interested in alternative thought process, when everything is going right, you are not factual. You are not factual. Fact is straight, right. Can there be a kitchen in the restroom? So you are distorting a fact. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
How can this girl should have agreed to me? I should say sorry and let me try if she would say she would agree to me. Projection. You are talking of alternative facts. And the moment the mind starts projecting, that is delusion. You are living in a delusion. You are not living in a fact. So the mind plays tricks with you. The mind doses you. The mind reacts you. So it means you are in a confusion.
So so really the fact is that this girl and I broke up, and that's the fact. That's it.
That's the fact. Now, once you have understood this fact, then tell your mind, find the peace within. Don't start running after the fourth one or the fifth one. Whatever is the number, I don't know. So, you see, mind, calm down. Oh, mind, be at peace. Peace is within you. Peace is, you have seen, peace is not outside, peace is not in a situation, peace is not in a person, peace is not in an event, peace is not in a money, peace is not in a possession. I repeat it by understanding. So the more and more I repeat it, the better it is for me. Then I should not create a circle. Create a circle. So that circle of likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, undesirable desire, I'm specifically saying. Otherwise, you'll say that, oh, what do you mean? Human beings should not have a desire. I said no. Desirable desire, you should have it. If you feel discomfort while sitting on the chair, make yourself comfortable. That is also a desire. So, desirable desire is common. We should understand that undesirable desire results into a delusion. Delusion results into an ego. Ego keeps our mind full of in the lane number one. The entire circle is known as the world, the universe. Buddha says this world is suffering. Does your mind accept this world is suffering? No, I like you, Buddha. I love you, Buddha. You are good. But for me, the world is full of pleasure. That is the confusion. You don't listen to the Buddha. So to make listen to the Buddha, I have to move to the lane number two. I cannot see the world is delusion in the lane number one. But I see everything is rosy. Everything is pleasant in the world outside. So as long as I move into the lane number two, what it means, I have accepted the teaching Buddha. Let me examine whether this world outside is suffering or pleasure. So when you start thinking in the lane number two, you have started thinking, contemplating. So you don't move to the alternative facts. You don't project. Projection you have left behind in the lane number one. And now lane number two keeps on thinking, and then that thinking gives you the knowledge, And once the knowledge in the lane number 2 resources becomes greater than the pressure of the lane number 1, you have already won the battle. How simple it is. Lane number 1 is full. Lane number 1, you have a traffic jam. That is what the thoughts are getting. You are getting, that is the meaning of obsessed thoughts.
Yeah.
You don't want to move on to the lane number 2. You see the lane number 2 is open and blank. You don't want to move.
Why?
Why? Because you like lane number 1. So what should I do? Again, I have to. That is where the teacher comes. Teacher shows you what is right and good. So don't project anything. The moment you have her name, the moment you have her thought, you have your thought pieces within me. That is moving into the lane number 2.
Okay.
So there is another tradition when my master told me that I was intensively attached to my master. So it means he said, I loved my master so much. So in attachment, we feel there is a distorted love that creates an intense mind remains obsessed with the attachment. So you have to break that obsession by thinking. That is what I did. Master told me that I I closed my eyes and I visualized. I visualized my master is standing before me. Then I said he is standing back at the back of me. He is standing at the right, left, on all the sides. So then I realized that those obsessive thoughts will stop. Then I said, where the moment I have an obsessive thoughts, first I realize it is in my head. So I record the presence of my image of my master inside the head. And suddenly that thought disappeared. So I'm not saying that you have to visualize me, you have to visualize Jesus. Have any image. So the thought is supported by an image in a stronger way. Or you just do, let me find out this emptiness, the space, and the blue sky within. So I have an obsessive thoughts. I have one thought of obsession, and all around there is a space. So the mind will recognize the space is much bigger than the thought. The obsession cannot do anything. It will weaken. That's another approach.
Okay.
No. What if I have all the thoughts of obsession and there is no space left? Then you are crazy. Don't ask me that question.
No.
Sometimes people ask me.
No.
No. But you have all. One guy last year told me, I understand what is this obsession, but sir, I see those thoughts of obsession covering all around my body. And the moment I enter into my house, I have all those obsessive thoughts filled in the room. What should I do? From there, the problem comes of split personality. From there, the problems of schizophrenia comes.
Yeah.
And it took me almost 6-7 months to make him realize that the thought is a matter, thought is not a consciousness. Thought, this is mouse. So this is mouse, that thought is a matter. I become conscious of the thought, So I know mouse is there. Here is your body. This is a thought. I become conscious of the thought and I know you. She doesn't agree with me. This is simply a thought. Matter has no relevance. But my mind becomes conscious of it again and again and again. So I make the thought alive. Who makes? My mind makes me crazy. None else. She is not making me crazy, or he is not making me crazy. I am making myself crazy. If the thought is conscious, then all the books are conscious entities. Then all the thoughts are conscious entities. Then it is very easy. You don't need a teacher. So teacher makes that knowledge in the text conscious by making you understand. So what is happening that those thoughts of which you say conflicting thoughts, obsessive the thoughts, and etc., like the thoughts of liking and attachment, I make them conscious. I add fuel into it by repeating it.
Yeah.
So I should stop. Who will stop? I.
Yeah.
So what is this I? Is the mind. So mind in the lane number 1, I made it clear. Lane number 2, I have to jump into the lane number 2. What it takes to jump into the lane number 2? Nothing. I have to just become aware. Here's the lane number 1. Left. I'm lane number 2. Peace is my essential nature. Done. Yes, it is very simple. If I'm not deluded by the mind, if I'm deluded by the mind, then it is very difficult.
What about like the feelings of feeling hurt or sad? I mean, aren't those feelings?
Whether you say it's a feeling or ultimately it is expressed as a thought, feeling of hurt, feeling of obsession, feeling of so-called confusion, comes from the same source, that is lane number 1.
Okay.
So the feeling of the heart goes a step further. After the delusion, I said ego. Who is heart? I. Who is this I? Lane number 1. What the lane number 1 says, you love me, but you don't love me. So I'm heart. So I'm repeating the same thought. It is further an extension of the delusion.
Okay.
I have all the sympathy because you are so much hurt.
No.
But those who pay the lip service, that is known as sympathy, and they do more harm than good. That is why I did not pay any sympathy to you.
I don't want your sympathy.
Yeah. So when I don't want sympathy, I want right knowledge. I want the
Yeah.
fact. I want the clarity. So when the mind says I am hurt, mind, okay, you are hurt, you leave the thought as it is. Jump to the lane number 2. You have already separated. Peace and happiness are within me. If peace and happiness are within me, then how I can be hurt in any situation by anyone in the world?
Yeah, you're right.
And then, if I am hurt, then the origin, the root cause is my likes and dislikes. I like you, I appreciated you, but you didn't appreciate me, so I am hurt. So, my liking you and my appreciation of you has an expectation that you should also pay me back. But you didn't pay me back, so I'm hurt.
That's delusional.
That is delusional. You are right. So I feel, and then you play fun of the delusion. Oh, mind, you are in delusion. Are you enjoying? No, I'm not enjoying. But you were enjoying in delusion because you thought the other loves you, but now you find that other do not love You see that you think in
Yeah.
this way. So when you are thinking and contemplating and reflecting, then what happens? The mind becomes clearer and clearer. And I told you, the lay number two, the pressure at present the resource is very low, and the pressure of the lay number one is on the top. So you have to increase these resources, and the pressure of the lane number one is so low that even if these thought comes, it does not carry the feeling of likes and dislikes and delusion and attachment.
Okay.
Then you are simply saying, okay, I was attached to her, but now I'm okay, I'm fine. So that because of the resources is too high of the knowledge and understanding, then that feeling does not go here. That feeling is here. I'm in peace. I realized. I received the knowledge. I retained the knowledge.
Yeah. I think on Thursday I would like to talk to you about